सिंधु हमारा है और सिंधु हमारा रहेगा, या इस दरिया से हमारा पानी बहेगा या उनका खून बहेगा.
All right, now joining us in the broadcast, we've got our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik is joining us on our broadcast. Anas, politicians have a tendency to play to the galleries. Give us the context in which Bilawal Bhutto Zardari made these remarks. They'll of course be seen as controversial.
Well, certainly so. He was playing it for the gallery, but the context was that this was a victory rally that was being organized by the Pakistan People's Party for the fact that it was in opposition of the federal government's move to bring to build about 6 canals on the river Indus. And in context of that, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari yesterday met the Prime Minister, where the federal government heeded to the demands by the Sindh government and by the Pakistan People's Party, and they agreed to temporarily suspend the construction of these 6 canals on the Indus River itself. Now, in that context, the rally was being done, but Bilawal Bhutto, as you heard in the bite as well, said, and I quote, that the river Indus or the Sindhu River has been attacked, quote unquote, and the comments that we heard from him were indeed very controversial. But again, as I said, as you rightly said, he was indeed playing it for the gallery. What is to be noted for the fact is that this comment comes at a time when there is some sort of political division, and he emphasized on the point that Pakistan, the Pakistani politicians will stand united regardless of the political differences on the issue of the Indus Water Treaty, while reiterating that this was a unilateral decision and that this decision would not be acceptable to the general Pakistani public at large.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Anas Malik, for joining us with all those details there. Now, in line with the diplomatic crackdown in Pakistan, the Indian government has revoked all visas issued to Pakistani nationals, ordering them to leave the country by the 27th of April. Pakistan has responded by suspending all visas for Indian nationals, closing its airspace to Indian flights and also halting trade. The government has warned that any interference with its water rights will be considered an act of open war. So as tensions between India and Pakistan continue to rise, the presence of Pakistani nationals across various Indian states has drawn attention. Now here's a breakdown of the number of the Pakistani nationals who are residing in different states across India. The largest concentration is in Maharashtra with about 250 Pakistani nationals. The second highest is in Telangana with 209 Pakistani nationals, and Tamil Nadu with about 200 Pakistani nationals, making these states the most affected. 111 Pakistani individuals have been identified in Maharashtra so far. Kerala is home to about 102 Pakistani nationals who are there on a medical visa. They're also facing additional challenges as many are undergoing treatments at this moment and many are in hospitals, either themselves or their relatives are. Karnataka has about 25 Pakistani nationals, Uttar Pradesh 18, and they have fewer logistical hurdles to manage. The United Nations has urged both India and Pakistan to exercise restraint and to resolve their differences through dialogue. The situation remains pretty tense with both nations on a high alert.
26 innocent civilians, unarmed civilians, were butchered in Pahalgam. Their blood cries out from the Kashmir Valley, a stain on the conscience of a world that has long ignored Pakistan's terror factories. As India seethes with rage, the truth explodes in Islamabad's face. Our Gravitas special report on how 5 years ago, Imran Khan admitted that terror camps are active on Pakistani soil, and now the current Defence Minister Khwaja Asif admits that the country had been supporting and training terrorists for the last 3 decades. Our next report telling you more.
For years, India and the world have pointed to terror camps thriving in Pakistan, Lashkar-e-Taiba to Jaish-e-Mohammed. They train, arm and infiltrate while Islamabad pretends innocence on the global stage. But the truth is out there. Let's jog our memories. 5 years ago, speaking in Washington, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan admits to the presence of 40,000 active terrorists in his nation. He was replying to a question posed by WION in Washington.
When you talk about the militant groups, they still have about 30 to 40,000 armed people who have been trained and in some sort of a theater who fought either in Afghanistan, maybe in Kashmir. All these groups, including Al-Qaeda, had arrived in Pakistan. And not only that, there were linkages between these groups and the Pakistani security forces, because they had created them.
Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, when asked to comment on the candid confession, neither denied nor accepted. Watch how WION reported the story when the news broke.
This is not the first time that the Pakistani side has accepted that they are sponsoring terrorism, but India, of course, has reacted and reiterated that it would like to see Islamabad taking not only strong but credible, sustained and irreversible action on terrorists based on its territory, on territory under its control as well.
It was in response to WION's question at the USIP, where the Pakistani Prime Minister in elaborate said that there are about 30 to 40,000 members of these militias who have been trained to either fight jihad in Afghanistan or even in Kashmir, and that the fact that they could not be disarmed through the police, but in fact it was the job of the military.
Now, 3 days after the Kashmir massacre, in an astonishing admission, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif, speaking on live television, says, "We have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 decades, and the West, including Britain."
Well, we have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 decades, and West, including Britain.
Asif's words are a chilling reminder that the terror infrastructure in Pakistan is not a relic of the past, but a thriving state-sponsored enterprise. The terror group, the Resistance Front or TRF, is a Lashkar-e-Taiba proxy. It has claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam carnage, yet another bloody chapter in Pakistan's unending war by proxy against India. As tensions are peaking, the top brass in New Delhi and Islamabad went into huddles to chart the next course of action. Look at these images. On one side is Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi with his cabinet colleagues. All are civilians. This is India's Cabinet Committee on Security reviewing the overall security situation. Now see this image. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif surrounded by Pakistan military generals. This is the meeting of the National Security Committee of Pakistan, dominated by the military. It is a chosen government. Pakistan knows it and the world knows it. There are no more excuses, no more denials. Pakistan is not just a safe haven for terrorists, it is their sponsor, their trainer, their banker. With Siddhant Sibbal and Anas Malik, Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
What is terrorism? It is the unlawful use of violence, particularly against civilians for political gains. Did the killers of Pahalgam make it about religion? Yes, absolutely. But does it mean they have a religion? No, they do not. We know this as a society. Yet, every time there's a despicable act of terror, we struggle to come to terms with this idea. But if terrorists truly believed in a religion, would they have shot unarmed civilians on vacation in cold blood? No. It is pure evil that drives them. And we are not the only ones saying this. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has made a poignant statement. While condemning the terror attack in Pahalgam, he said that this attack is a battle between dharma and adharma. Bhagwat said, and I quote him here, "The fight that is going on right now is not between sects and religions. Its basis is religion, but this fight is between dharma and adharma. Our soldiers or our people have never killed anyone by asking about the religion. The fanatics who kill people by asking about the religion, Hindus would never do this. That is why the country should be strong." What does it mean? While dharma represents righteousness, duty, and the correct order that upholds the universe, adharma signifies unrighteousness and the violation of these principles. While dharma is about ethical conduct and balance in society, adharma is about disruption and suffering. Mohan Bhagwat